Now let's move on to the next kinds of adjectives, that is adjectives of quantity. Now, an adjective which tells us how much of a thing is meant is called an adjective of quantity. Okay? And adjectives of quantity answers to the question how much. You will understand this better with some examples. Let's have a look here. Anshu gave the poor man some food. Now here the word some is telling us about the quantity of food. How much food? Some food. So the word some is an adjective of quantity. And we know, children, that adjectives of quantity tell us about the quantity of nouns or pronouns. So here the word some is telling us how much food Anshu gave the poor man. How much food Anshu gave to the poor man. Next, I have much work to do. Now here the word much tells us how much work I have to do. So the word much here is an adjective of quantity, as it is telling us about the quantity of work I have to do. Next, Ajay has enough money to buy a pen. Now here the word enough is the adjective of quantity, as it tells us how much money Ajay has. So children, all these words like some, much and enough, they are what? They are adjectives of quantity, and they are answering the question how much. Now let's move on to the next kind of adjectives, that is adjectives of number. Now children, an adjective which tells us how many persons or things are meant is called an adjective of number. And adjectives of number answers the question how many. Let's understand this better with some examples. First is, the spider has 8 legs. Now here the word 8 is an adjective of number, because it tells us how many legs the spider has. Next, Renu has many toys. Now here the word many is an adjective of number, because it tells us how many toys Renu has. Next, Vivek gave me all his books. Now in this sentence, the word all is an adjective of number, because it tells us how many books Vivek gave me. So in these sentences, the word 8, many and all are what? They are adjectives of number. And adjectives of number answers to the question how many. Children, we have some adjectives like first, third, tenth, which are derived from numbers. So they are also called adjectives of number. And they show that in what order a person or thing stands. So they are also called what? They are also called ordinal adjectives. So first, third, tenth, all these are derived from where? They are derived from numbers. So they are also called adjectives of number. And because such adjectives show in what order a person or thing stands, therefore we also call them ordinal adjectives. Then children, sometimes the same adjective may be called an adjective of quantity or an adjective of number, depending upon its use. Like in this sentence, give me some milk. And in the next sentence, there are some boys at the door. Now, in both these sentences, the adjective is some. But in the first sentence, some answers to the question, how much milk? Okay, therefore, in this sentence, some is an adjective of quantity because it is answering to the question, how much? But in the second sentence, some is answering to the question, how many boys? There are some boys at the door. So the adjective some is answering the question, how many boys? Therefore, in this sentence, some is an adjective of number. In sentence 1, some is an adjective of quantity, and here some is an adjective of number. Some more examples are given here. Like in this sentence, he has finished all the milk. Now, the adjective here is the word all. Now, here all is an adjective of quantity because it is answering the question, how much milk has he finished? How much? So, all the milk. So, all here is an adjective of quantity because it is answering the question, how much? And here, all the members are present today. Now here, all is an adjective of number because it is answering to the question, how many? How many members are present today? So all the members are present. So here all is an adjective of number. Next, there is enough water in the jug. Now here also, let's read the next sentence also. We have enough people to help us. Now in both these sentences, enough is the adjective. But here, enough is an adjective of quantity. Why? Because it is answering to the question, how much water is there in the jug? So there is enough water in the jug. So here enough is what? It's an adjective of quantity. It is telling us that there is enough water. It is telling us the quantity of water. In the next sentence, we have enough people to help us. Here, enough is an adjective of number. Why? Because it is answering to the question, how many? How many people are there to help us? So we have enough people to help us. So enough here is what? It's an adjective of number. So children, we have seen that the same adjective may be called an adjective of quantity or an adjective of number depending upon its use. Let's move further to the next exercise. Write Q for adjectives of quantity and N for adjectives of number. First is, a week has 7 days. How many days? So here, 7 is answering to the question, how many? So it is an adjective of number. So we'll write N here. Next, many roads were damaged in the trains. Now here, the word many is an adjective of number. So many is an adjective of number because it is telling us how many roads were damaged in the rains. So we'll write N here because it's an adjective of number. Next, my father gave me some advice before the school trip. Now some. How much advice? Some advice. Father gave me some advice. So some here is an adjective of quantity. So we'll write Q here. Because some is answering to the question, how much? Next, he gave the ball to the first student. Now here first is an adjective and it's an adjective of number. So we'll write N here. Okay. Next, are there enough people to complete the work in time? Now here the word enough is an adjective and it's an adjective of number because it is answering to the question, how many people are there to complete the work in time? So again, we'll write N here. Next, there is enough rice in the bag. Now here, enough is an adjective of quantity because it is answering to the question, how much rice is in the bag? So we'll write Q here. Next, so enough is an adjective of quantity. It is telling us about the quantity of rice. Next, we have no complaints against these workers. Now, we have no complaints against these workers. In this sentence, no is an adjective of number because it tells us how many complaints are there against the workers. So we have no complaints. So let's write N here. Next, there was no milk for the baby. Now here also the word no is an adjective, but in this sentence no is an adjective of quantity because it is answering to the question, how much milk was there for the baby? So there was no milk. So in this sentence, no is an adjective of quantity. So we'll write Q here. So that's all for today, children. I hope you have understood the topic. Thank you, children.